all of us.
Leave politics.
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring. So catch all the updates on the happening. Stay fact on ATN.
Good day, viewers, and welcome to yet another episode of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network here in the city of Port Harcourt. News, events, and stories about the state system. ATN's appetite for in-depth, unbiased, and factual reportage is the driving principle for this program in order to bring government activities to the doorstep of the people. And now let's go through the highlights of today's report. In River State, police denies rumors of looting in Port Harcourt. And Edo Labour Party's chairman Abure on bail. A national NIN to enroll citizens upon birth and in government. Federal government issues 25.6 billion naira green bond funds. We'll take a very short break, and when we return, we go straight to the details for today. Stay tuned, please.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
you human
on the point of order.
Honorable
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
Welcome back, and now we dive into the details for today. The police commanders vehemently denied rumors circulating on social media, particularly WhatsApp, about chaos in the Lagos and Port Johnson areas of Port Harcourt town. The command, led by Commissioner of Police CP Olatunji Disu, has categorically refuted these claims, asserting that no such incidents have taken place in the state. In a statement signed by the police public relations officer SP Grace Iringe Koko, the police command emphasized the River State remains peaceful and secure, urging individuals to refrain from spreading false information that could disrupt the peace and harmony of the state. CP Olatunji Disu warned that those found disseminating rumors through social media platforms will face consequences. The public is urged to disregard the misleading message and continue their lawful activities. The command highlighted that the viral message was posted by mischievous individuals with the aim of destabilizing the peace in River State. Contrary to the rumors, there have been no reports of assaults or looting of properties and valuables in the state. River State Police Command reiterates its commitment to maintaining peace and called on the public to collaborate with security agencies in the fight against crime and criminality. Federal High Court. The Federal High Court in Port Harcourt has discharged and acquitted the chieftain of All Progressive Congress, who is also the deputy chairman of youth movement in Emohua local government area of River State, Fubara Ohaka. The charges were filed against him by the federal government. Chief Ohaka has been standing trial on 6-count charges of alleged involvement in illegal oil bunkering, terrorism, dealing on illegal refining products without license, conspiracy, amongst others, preferred against him since 2022 by the federal government through the Department of State Services. In his judgment, Justice Stephen De Leon Palm held that the federal government failed to provide evidence to back their claims, hence failed to provide allegations against the defendant. It was gathered that Justice De Leon Palm, however, agreed on no case submission by the counsel to the defendant and thereby discharged and acquitted him. Speaking to newsmen outside the courtroom, Fubara Onhaka expressed happiness that he has been vindicated. He has put shame on the faces of all those who conspired to tarnish his image. More news, but don't forget you can connect with us and watch us on ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network. On Instagram and TikTok, it's Atlantic TV Network 1. On Twitter, watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. The Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited is deepening its war on crude oil theft as it discovered 223 fresh illegal connections and illegal refineries in the Niger Delta. In a 2-minute video obtained by ATN on Wednesday, it was revealed that the incidents were recorded between the 10th and 16th of February 2024. A breakdown shows the incidences occurred at Matron Engineering Facilities, 21 at Pipeline Infrastructure Nigeria Limited, 7 at Shell Petroleum Development Company facilities, and 4 at Tantita Security Services Limited. 6 incidences were recorded at facilities owned by government security agencies. Additional details have it that 20 illegal connections were discovered in Okrika, River State, Bayelsa State, and Delta State, while illegal refineries were uncovered at different locations in Rivers, Delta, Bayelsa, and as seen in the video, sacks of crude oil were discovered in Warri, while cans of crude oil in Edo State. More oil sacks were also seized in Oloibri in Delta State. Vandalized wellheads and pipelines were spotted in Bayelsa, while vehicles used for operations by oil thieves were seized in Ole, Ugeli, and Warri in Delta State. According to NNPCL, 52 suspects have been arrested so far. The national chairman of the Labour Party, Julius Abure, who was arrested on Wednesday in Benin, Edo State capital by operatives of the Zone 5 police headquarters, have been released on bail. It was gathered that the arrest was a result of a petition forwarded to the zone from the Office of the Inspector General of Police in Abuja. After its release around 2 a.m. on Thursday, Abure, while addressing his supporters, said that the struggle to liberate the people does not come easy. He said his persecution, meant to destabilize the party, started after the general elections in 2023. He said that the state chairman, Kelly Obaloi, and the state youth leader were still held and will likely be released later today. Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps said that it has arrested 2 men suspected to be cultists involved in ritualistic activities in Imo State. Matthew Ovie, the NSCDC commandant in Imo, made this statement while parading the suspects in Owerri on Wednesday. Ovie said that the command's rapid response squad arrested the suspects along Okigwe Road, Owerri, while they were attempting to forcefully dispossess a second-year student of Imo State University, simply identified as Neme, of her belongings on her way to the campus. He said that the suspects used charms on suspecting victims and were about to lure her into carting away her belongings before the intervention of his men. He advised Imo people to be cautious when boarding buses and report suspected persons to authorities. He, however, assured the general public that the NSCDC was synergizing with other security agencies through intelligence sharing to nip the ugly trend in the bud. Lagos State Police Command has arrested 3 suspected cable thieves in Ojodu area of the state. Command spokesperson S. confirmed the arrest on his verified X handle on Wednesday. He listed the suspects as Babatunde Murufu, Shegun Lawal, and Adebayo Iyanu. According to him, the police arrested the trio during a stop-and-search operation. He said further investigation revealed that they had just stolen the cables from a building in the neighborhood. The image maker said that the suspects were yet to be arraigned at the conclusion of investigations. Ondo State Governor Lucky Ayedatiwa has declared Thursday, February 22nd and Friday, 3rd, 2024 as public holidays in the state. These holidays, according to a statement issued by the Chief Press Secretary to the Governor, Ebenezer Adenion, are in honor of the former governor of the state, the late Oluwa Rotimi Akeredolu. Adeniyo noted that 3 days will allow people of the state to participate in the burial activities of the former governor who died last December. According to the statement, the burial activities, which started last Thursday, continues as follows. On Wednesday, February 21st, Ajabwe traditional rites in Owo from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. A special court session at Court 1 Ondo State High Court Headquarters, Hospital Road, Akure at 10 a.m. and lying in state and commendation service at Akure Township Stadium at time 1 p.m. An evening of tributes at St. Andrew's Church, Imola Street, Owo between 4 p.m. and 7 p.m. amongst others. The Ekiti State Command of the Nigerian Security paraded 12 suspects in connection with various crimes in the state. A statement by the suspects were apprehended at different locations in and around the Ado-Ekiti metropolis for various crimes, including armed robbery, use and peddling of illicit drugs, burglary, stealing, conspiracy, and cyber crimes. One of the suspects, Adesoji Victor, 19 years of age, and 3 others were arrested during a foiled robbery at a supermarket along Okeila, axis of Ado-Ekiti. The statement added that the CTU operative of NSCDC neutralized the suspects and recovered 1 locally made cut-to-size gun, other dangerous weapons, and a registered motorcycle. Others paraded by the command include Samuel Michael, 25, Adebayo Latif, 29, Opemi Adelusi, 24, Daramola Ariyo, 26, and Wasiu Ariyo, 29. The suspects were arrested along the Omisonjana axis of Ado-Ekiti and were found to have a large quantity of cannabis sativa, among other incriminating materials. According to the statement, the duo of Ayodele Ayomide, 20, and Oladapo Agbe were arrested in Okela after they had successfully broken into a church and stole a heavy-duty generator. The suspects, the statement affirmed, would be arraigned upon the conclusion of investigations. Ebonyi State Ministry of Health said on Wednesday that Lassa fever had claimed 14 lives in the state. Dr. Hyacinth Ebenyi, the Director of Public Health at the ministry, gave the figure in an interview with newsmen in Abakaliki. He said that the 14 cases amongst the 29 confirmed cases of the disease recorded as of February 20th. Ebenyi expressed concern that no fewer than 110 suspected cases of the disease were recently recorded in the state. He, however, called on the citizenry not to panic, given the assurance that the state government was making efforts to stem the tide of the disease. Ebenyi advised the state residents to be cautious about eating rats and make contact with their food. He listed the symptoms of the disease as including a high fever, general body weakness, and headaches. Bauchi State Government has established a committee to probe and profile solutions to the environmental problems that affect the Birshin Fulani community in Bauchi local government area of the state. State Commissioner for Natural Resources Bello Maiwada revealed this while briefing newsmen after a meeting with the community stakeholders and management of Triacta Construction Company on Wednesday in Bauchi. He pleaded that the state government's commitment to ensuring a safe environment for residents by tackling headlong the challenge of environmental pollution in the communities. According to him, members of the committee were concerned residents of the Bishi community, government officials, environmentalists, and management of Triacta Construction Company. The commissioner, however, condoled with the people of Gudun Sayawa, where 4 women died at a mining site in the community. He warned against illegal mining, urging prospective miners to seek clearance from the Ministry of Natural Resources. Police command in Adamawa State said its operatives, in collaboration with hunters in Gombe local government area, have arrested 3 suspected kidnappers and rescued a 16-year-old female victim. SP Suleiman Nguroje, the command spokesperson who disclosed this in a statement in Yola on Wednesday, said that the operation was carried out by a crack squad. Nguroje said that the operation was launched following a tip-off, and the operatives stormed the kidnapping den at Fota village of Gombe. He said that the victim, name withheld, was kidnapped 3 days ago from Boma village, Shani local government area of Borno State. According to the statement, the victim is currently receiving medical attention at an undisclosed health facility. Joroge stated that the Commissioner of Police CP Dankombo Morris had assured the public that there will be no hiding place for criminals as they will be fished out anywhere within the state. The House Committee on Local Government and Chieftaincy Affairs of Taraba State House of Assembly has pledged to ensure fairness amongst all ethnic groups amongst the long-standing traditional leadership tussle and disputes in Takum local government area. The pledge was made during a public hearing convened on Monday in Jalingo, in the State's House of Assembly chambers in reaction to an executive bill presented by Governor Abu Kefas aimed at reforming the traditional leadership structure in the council. Representatives of various ethnic groups in Takum voiced divergent opinions during the public hearing. While some supported the rotational proposal, others, notably the Kuteb ethnic group, advocated for exclusive rights to the traditional stool. The different ethnic groups expressed gratitude to the governor for intervening in the long-standing dispute. They urged the committee, led by former Speaker Peter Abel, to ensure fairness and transparency in their deliberations. In his address, they underscored the importance of unity among the ethnic groups, urging them to overcome the hatred and bitterness that have plagued the community for years. He assured the public of the committee's dedication to finding a lasting solution, stating that its report will undergo thorough consideration by the 24 members of the Assembly. The traditional stool in Takum has remained vacant for the past 26 years, sparking controversies and leading to the loss of lives and destruction of properties. Justice Usman Malam Naba of the Kano State High Court has nullified the suspension of former governor of the state, Alhaji Rabiu Kwankwanso, from the New Nigeria People's Party. The court, while delivering in its judgment on a suit further barring some of the aggrieved members of the party from taking over or acting as national officers of NNPP. Specifically, Justice Naba issued an order of interim injunction restraining the respondents by themselves, their agents, cronies, and whosoever acting or acting through them from parading themselves, issuing a press release, or granting interviews as national officers, leaders, or members of the applicant pending the hearing and determination of the motion on notice. He equally held an order of interim injunction is hereby granted, setting aside the purported suspension of Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwanso as member of the applicant and restraining the Independent National Electoral Commission from recognizing the purported suspension pending the hearing of and determination of the motion on notice. The court ordered the substituted service of the processes on the respondents, even as it adjourned further proceedings in the matter till March 11th. You are watching Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network right here in the city of Port Harcourt. We will be back after this break. Please stay tuned.
From the line across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring all the sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today, only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing. You human trafficker.
They are not picking our calls. They made up their minds.
So no agreement with the EU, but
day, our lives are changed by history.
We are one people, all of us.
Leaders, politics,
Nobody's ambition is what the blood.
I have fought very firmly.
natural occurrence, war, and the world economy.
I belong to everybody, and I belong to nobody.
ATN covers it all on ATN Politics today.
From the lines across the ocean to the land beyond the mountains, through the Sahara, we bring on sport news, live analysis, expert discussions on trending stories in politics, business, socio-economy, sports, and documentaries. So catch all the updates on the happenings around the globe. Stay focused on the fact today. Only on ATN.
People into the country illegally. That is amazing.
Honorable
You human trafficker.
Honorable
Welcome back to Government and Public Service Reports on the Atlantic Television Network, right here in the city of Port Harcourt. Now to the rest of our stories. In Nigeria today, one of the biggest challenges to citizens is food. It is on this note that the Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology moves to sensitize the state ministries of local government commissions and state ministries of health in Nigeria on food safety and security. In a sensitization workshop held in Abuja, the Registrar and Chief Executive Officer, Nigerian Council of Food Science and Technology, said the food safety is pertinent to all Nigerians because it involves health, and the aim of the workshop was to ensure that all foods at grassroots, national and international level.
But this very one, I assure you, is very pertinent to us, to every Nigerian, that we must give it all it takes to make it work. Issue of safety of food in Nigeria, very, very important. So the aim of this sensitization is to ensure that the regulation of food at the grassroots, the local government level, is carried out according to the world best operating practices, procedures, as done internationally, so that our food or food products can be safe for Nigerians, first and foremost, and then can also compete favorably with the ones outside of Nigeria and not rejected when exported. So NICFOS will rely heavily on the local government area councils for the improvement of food safety practices of street food vendors, whether they are fixed. You see some of them will have shops. Some of them are semi-mobile. Today they come, tomorrow they carry, they finish and carry their wares away, including their stores, and then come back the next day. Then some other ones are mobile, they move about. So we rely on the local government for the safety practices of these people, the caterers, semi-packaged and unpackaged food sellers in the market and in other places around.
Some participants at the workshop from different states and local governments across the country have this to say.
Handling is done at the local government levels. The bulk of food trade is done at the local level. There is no country in the world that does not recognize that food safety is most tackled at the local government level. That is where the bulk of informal trades happen. In the formal trade level, there are quite a lot of bodies and responsibilities that make people to self-regulate. So please, we need to change in this country so that the dream of Nick First to ensure that best practices are applied to food matters and food handling can be achieved.
Do with what you eat, how safe is what you eat. You must be sure of the safety of the food you eat. That is what we're going to discuss there. The national policy on food safety is supposed to be domesticated by states. So many states, I think only 15 or 16 states have done that, including my own state, Osun State. We've adopted the policy and we have domesticated same. Then we intend to replicate same in all the local governments to be sure of the safety of the food we eat. Food, when we talk about food and its consumption, we talk about people from the grassroots, people from the local government, who to be aware of what they eat.
Moving on, the House of Representatives on Wednesday, February 21st, asked the Council of Legal Education to put in abeyance the recent 60% increase in the school fees of the Nigerian Law School. Adopting a motion by the Minority Leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, and read on his behalf by Ginger Owusibe, the House asked its relevant committees on justice and tertiary education and services to explore solutions to the issue at hand and report back within 2 weeks. Chinda described the Nigerian Law School as the medium through which the Council of Legal Education discharges its functions to regulate legal education of persons seeking to become members of the legal profession, as provided for under the Section 12, Section 1, Subsection 2 of the Legal Education Consolidation Act, Cap L10, Laws of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 2004. He said the function of the Council of Legal Education is to oversee legal education in Nigeria, including the decision to deciding the cost of tuition and other services rendered to the students of the Nigerian Law School. He stressed that Nigeria is currently facing a 27.33% inflation rate, as reported by the Nigeria Bureau of Statistics, which is projected by Trade Economics to rise to 30% by December 2023. He, however, expressed concern that in exercising its functions, the Council of Legal Education has approved a 60% increase in Nigerian law school fees from 296,000 naira to 476,000 naira for 2023-2024 Part 2 academic section. He said further that the 2023-2024 Part 2 academic session commenced in January 2024 with no time given for prospective students to raise the balance. He warned that failure to promptly address the need for a balance between the council's service quality and students' affordability could result in a significant drop in Nigerian law school enrollment. According to him, this in turn will lead to fewer lawyers being called to bar, ultimately contributing to a higher national unemployment rate among those unable to pursue legal careers. And still on, the House of Representatives have urged the National Identity Management Commission to collaborate with the Federal Ministry of Health, partner agencies, hospitals, and other relevant agencies to enroll, register, and generate NIN for all Nigerian citizens and residents upon birth. They also urge the Commission and partner agencies to urgently resolve the issues for a seamless and nationwide NIN registration and card issuance. This followed the adoption of a motion by Honorable Olajuwon Alao Akala with the title Call for Better Service in the Production of National Identity Numbers. Presenting the motion, the Honorable Alao Akala noted that the National Identity Number is a security measure used to match individuals with their biometric data, tie all records in the database, and establish or verify their identity.
that the function of the Council of Legal Education to oversee legal education in Nigeria includes deciding the cost of tuition and other services rendered to students of Nigerian law school. Aware that Nigeria is currently facing a 27.33% inflation rate, as reported by the Nigerian Bureau of Statistics, which is projected by Trade Economics to rise to 30.00% by December 2023. Concerned that in exercising its function, the Council of Legal Education has approved a 60% increase in Nigerian law school fees from 296,000 naira to 476,000 naira for the 2023-2024 Bar Part 2 academic section. Also aware that the 2023 to 2024 Bar Part 2 academic section commenced in January 2024 with no time given to prospective students.
In a related development, the House of Representatives has directed the Council of Legal Education to put in abeyance the recent 60% increase in the school fees of the Nigerian Law School. The decision is equal to the adoption of a motion by Minority Leader of the House, Kingsley Chinda, and read on his behalf during the plenary by Jinja Owusibe.
Aware that the National Identity Management Commission regulates national identity in Nigeria, offering services like national identification number enrollment and issuance, national e-ID card, among others. Also aware that the National Identity Commission is responsible for managing Nigerians' national identity database, registering individuals, assigning unique names, NIN, and issuing general multipurpose cards, GMPCs. The House observes that Nigeria faced arduous experience during registration, despite various enrollment options and service centers, with most Nigerians yet to collect their NIN cards despite successful registration. Cognizant that NIN is the foundational ecosystem for identifying Nigerians, and its functional identification purpose will be defeated if all Nigerians cannot access their unique national identification number.
The Nigerian Senate on Wednesday confirmed the nomination of 17 out of 19 persons transmitted to the Senate by President Bola Tinubu to serve as commissioners of the National Population Commission. The confirmation followed a report submitted by the Senate's Committee on National Identity Card and Population, chaired by Senator Abdul Ahmed Ningi. In the report, Ningi said the nomination of 19 persons was in line with the powers vested on President Bola Tinubu to appoint qualified Nigerians to serve as commissioners of the National Population Commission, and having transmitted their names to the National Assembly, 17 of the nominees made themselves available for screening. They were all screened and found worthy, except for 2 of the nominees from Ondo and Ogun State who have been engaged before their appointment. Hence, he was seeking for the confirmation of the chamber for 17 persons. Still on the Senate, Nigerian senators on Wednesday unanimously kicked against the plans to increase the electricity tariff, describing the move as retrogressive and ill-timed. The upper chamber also mandated its Committee on Power to investigate the over 2 trillion naira subsidy requirement, as alleged by the Minister of Power, Adebayo Adelabu, after a robust debate on a motion by Senator representing Adamawa Central, Iya Abbas. On Wednesday's plenary, the lawmakers urged the federal government to immediately stand down the idea of an increase in electricity tariff in the country.
Call on federal government to stand down the idea of increase in electricity tariff by withdrawing subsidy. Mandate Committee on Power to investigate the over 2 trillion subsidy requirement. as stated by the Minister of Power, to avoid the repeat of fuel subsidy scenario, and the statement made by the Honourable Minister with regard to 1.3 trillion naira of the Ministry owed oil generating companies and $1.3 billion owed to gas companies.
It can also lead to an increase in theft of electricity within our society. And if it is as a result of unmetered consumption, people can find a source of how to connect this power to themselves. Mr. President, finally, is going to have what we call a negative impact on the economy. How? It's going to be retrogressive because a lot of people may not work directly with what used to be on power. Mr. President.
Contributing to the motion, Senator Abba Moro, representing Benue South, said Nigeria must first be sufficient in generation and distribution of power before considering an increase in tariff. On his part, Senator representing Sokoto South, Aminu Tambuwal, said the removal of any subsidy on electricity is insensitive, describing the move as adding petrol to fire.
And effectively, adequately distribute electricity. Most of the problems that we're having today, especially in the manufacturing sector of the economy, is as a result of low power. And many organizations and companies are relocating from Nigeria simply because they don't have energy to drive their organizations. And so, Mr. President, I support this motion, and I want to say that this Senate should resolve again, like the Senate did in the 9th Senate, that the desire to raise electricity should be put on hold until the distribution of electricity is adequate and proper. This issue of subsidy removal has become a very serious matter, and we must be very careful how we handle it.
The populace are facing untold hardships, and the situation in the country is anything but normal. And removal of any subsidy, not to talk of electricity subsidy, will be more than adding petrol to fire. The situation in the country do not allow for even a contemplation of that. I believe that is ill-timed, is insensitive to say the least, and therefore there is the need for the Senate to rise to this occasion and intervene.
In a remark, the President of the Senate, Govt Akpabio, aligned with his colleagues, noting that any increase will further throw Nigerians into untold hardship, especially now that they are grappling with hunger and high cost of living. Moving on, the Senate President, Govt Akpabio, has also disclosed that each state governor has been allocated an extra 30 billion naira to address the challenges of food scarcity and hardship confronting Nigerians. Akpabio said that each state should properly utilize the money towards ensuring the availability of food. Speaking on the floor of the Senate, Akpabio said unverified reports has it that each of the state governments in the last few months received additional 30 billion naira from Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocation from the Federation account to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. The current economic hardship has led to a hike in the prices of foodstuffs across the country. The shortage of foodstuffs was also linked to the hoarding by some people and illegal smuggling to neighboring countries. Recall that the Vice President Kashim Shettima had disclosed how security operatives discovered 32 illegal routes being used to smuggle foodstuffs and other items to neighboring countries from Nigeria. The President of the Senate, Govt Akpabio, has declared that the recent protests witnessed in some states on the harsh economic situation in the country are sponsored. Akpabio made the declaration during the plenary after the presentation of a report of the Joint Committee on Banking, Finance, National Planning, Agriculture and Appropriation, headed by Senator Abdullahi Yahaya. Correspondent Rotimi Adeuyi reports.
The president of the Senate, Senator Govt, declared that recent protests witnessed in some states over economic hardship situation in the country are sponsored, while stressing the need to immediately address the issue of hunger in the country. Akpabio revealed that in the last few months, state governments received 30 billion naira each to tackle the current hardship faced by citizens.
You can see a lot of sponsored protests here and there, but those people are not aware. Most of those sponsored protests are not aware of the kind of efforts being made by this Senate to tackle the situation, together with the joint management team of the federal government of Nigeria. And I must say that unverified report has it that each of the state governments in the last few months have received additional 30 billion from the Federal Inland Revenue Service outside their normal allocations, from the Federation account, outside their normal allocations, to assist them in ameliorating the food situation. So we believe that every state government should utilize the funds so received towards ensuring that food is available.
Meanwhile, in an extensive debate, Senator Adamu Alero argued that some state governors, including some retired ones in the Senate, were beneficiaries of the 18 billion as shock absorber under the Ways and Means since 2015.
Each state government in 2023 was given 18 billion naira at once. Some of the governors that benefited from that 18 billion naira are here. I'm sure Governor London can confirm that.
And they did not, and they did not repay the money by the time they came to the Senate.
The Senate President thereafter maintained that owing to the current economic situation, it has become to thoroughly examine the Ways and Means funds. The Deputy Senate President, Barao Jubri, also explained that the intervention monies were expended outside appropriation without the knowledge of the Parliament, noted that lawmakers have the right to interrogate the expenditure. As the issue of whether or not to investigate the matter raised open another debate in the Red Chamber, while some senators suggested that a special committee be set up to scrutinize the 30 trillion intervention disbursement, some of which were granted, and ways to mop them up.
Exclude the fact that we can still go and investigate what we pass. So we are open to investigation, and there was a caveat at that time that we're going to investigate, the details must be provided, so we are waiting. Anytime the Senate feels that we should go to investigate that, we investigate that. So for one now to say, for what happened then was a collective responsibility, and it was done in the interest of the nation and in line with our collaborative stance with the executive arm of government.
The Senate has however resolved to set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the details of the Ways and Means, including various intervention programs such as Anchor Borrower Program given to state governments, including banks, aviation sector and power sector among others, which has risen the debt profile of the country.
Moving on, Godwin Emefiele, the former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, has accused the president of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, of making defamatory statements against him. The accusation stemmed from comments purportedly made by the Senate president at an event which Emefiele claims to have unjustly maligned his character and portrayed him as the root cause of Nigeria's current economic challenges. During the televised remarks, the Senate president suggested that the government was at a loss for what charges to bring against Emefiele, citing potential accusations ranging from causing economic turmoil to illegal possession of firearms and unauthorized printing of currency. These remarks have sparked controversy and drawn attention to the former CBN governor's ongoing legal battles, where he has pleaded not guilty and is actively defending his innocence. Matthew Borka, the legal representative for Emefiele, stated in a letter addressed to the Senate president, a copy of which was obtained by newsmen in Abuja on Wednesday, that the former CBN governor considers these statements false, distorted, and made in bad faith. The statements were deemed to be aimed at disparaging his character. The letter demanded an immediate retraction of the statement, a written apology, and a payment of 25 billion naira as compensation for the alleged defamation. The legal team argued that the Senate president's comments were not only undermined will not only undermine the integrity of the judiciary by commenting on a matter currently under legal review, but also fail to acknowledge Emefiele's contribution to the national economy. They highlighted his role in introducing banking sector innovations and his efforts in addressing the PID saga, which had positive outcomes for Nigeria. Nigeria, like other countries, is faced with many challenges, of which climate change is one. In a move to provide solutions to Nigeria's climate change challenges, the Federal Ministry of Environment held a consultative forum on Green Bond Interministerial Committee on Climate Change. The Minister of State for Environment, Dr. Isiaq Adekunle Salako, said the federal government has successfully issued 25.6 billion naira of green bonds projects, and that the government has agreed to increase year-to-year issuances from 2024 to 2027 to contribute significantly to the country's low emissions targets.
Following the successful issuance of 25.6 billion in the maiden and second issuance, we have agreed to an incremental year-to-year issuance from 2024 to 2027, starting with a larger size issuance of 60 billion in 2024 for the implementation of green projects that can contribute significantly to the country's low emission targets. You will realize that if you look at the 2024 budget, and the budget office is here, I think capital is about 10 trillion. So if we are doing 60 billion, I'm sure budget office will be telling us we are just scratching the surface. So we therefore need to be ambitious. 60 billion out of 10 trillion is less than, I think less than 1% or thereabouts. So, and the opportunities are there. So if we are going to go green, we must find a way to increase our market share of green bonds.
The minister attributed climate change as a developmental issue which had economic and special consequences, adding that there is need to put experience together to pursue the nation's carbon low pathway.
The collaboration of stakeholders along doing the right things, especially as it related to developing green bond project items, some of you will be presented today for consideration. We must ensure the efficiency of resource allocation and utilization of priority projects, especially green bond projects for sovereign green bond issuance. Climate change is not just an environmental issue. It is a developmental issue, which has enormous economic and social consequences. We need to understand the magnitude of the economic, social, and ecological challenges that confront us. The green bond issuance has therefore become part of our climate experience. It is in this regard that we shall continue to draw strength and lessons from one another as we proceed in the nation's low-carbon pathway.
Earlier in an opening remark, Alhaji Ibrahim Yusufu Idris stressed that successful issuance of foreign green bond to the tune of 25.6 billion naira was funded projects across the 5 sectors of environment such as energy, agriculture, transportation, and water.
That's with domestic resources. Well, we hope to reduce. We have to achieve 47% up from 45% with the international support in its efforts towards emission reductions. The successful maiden and follow-up issuance of sovereign green bond to the tune of 25.68 billion naira have funded projects across 5 priority sectors of environment, energy, agriculture, transport, and water. The projects funded from the proceeds of the bond provided clear and quantifiable environmental benefits, including 12.5% megawatt of renewable energy generation, over 2,000 hectares of afforestation and reforestation, and estimated emission reduction potential of 33,504 tons of carbon dioxide. However, there have been some challenges mitigating against the effective implementation of the Green Bond. These are issues related to delay and non-compliant implementation of projects under the second issuance by benefiting MDS, and must not repeat themselves as we engage in the third issuance of the Sovereign Green Bond. That's which domestic.
And this is where we wrap it up on this edition of Government and Public Service Reports on Atlantic Television Network here in the city of Port Harcourt. But you could stay connected with us on our ATN socials, Facebook and YouTube, Atlantic Television Network, Instagram and TikTok, Atlantic TV Network 1. On X, formerly Twitter, we're on Atlantic TV Net, and watch us live on our website, atlanticnetwork.tv. Peace and unity are the pathways to progress. I am Raymond Ken Mbata. Thank you for watching.
From the line across the ocean.